Okay. And how do I do the AI? Okay, I got it. I'll go ahead and do that also. Okay, continue, sir.
Okay. Sri Vashishta continued. O Rama, Leela then entered into deep samadhi. By the grace of Goddess Saraswati, she flew like a bird, leaving her physical body behind. She penetrated the very akasha of her own room and discovered another world where she saw her husband manifesting as a different personality. Even within the space of her own room, Leela found herself in a different world where her husband, now known as King Viduratha, was a young king. He was seated on a throne in the midst of royal glories and was attended upon by numerous counselors, ministers, and ambassadors from different countries. Just like Mr. entering into a room, Leela entered into the royal court. To her great surprise, she found that the king was 16 years old and was without a tinge of age or fatigue of his previous existence as Padma. The world he lived in was as real as any world could be. She also saw the ministers and subjects of his previous existence abiding in his work. This created a confusion in Leela's mind. She thought within herself, is it possible that all the people from the kingdom of Padma have been transported into the kingdom of Viduratha? Here, you know,
Go ahead and finish the next one.
Leela rushed back to her world, entered Leela rushed back to her world, entered into her body, and rose from the state of samadhi. Then she hastened to awaken her friends and summoned all her ministers and attendants right then in the middle of the night. Soon the royal court was lit up by torches, and all the attendants and royal officers were present before her, saying that she just wanted to console her afflicted mind by their presence. She then dismissed them. Joyously, she certified that they had not been transported to another world. Here, Sage Vashishta says, Leela entered into deep samadhi, and then by the grace of Saraswati, she flew like a bird, leaving her physical body behind. And then she penetrated her own room and seeing that discovered another world where her husband was manifesting as a different personality. Means he became a Viduratha there in this context. Then Leela found herself in a different world where her husband now as King Viduratha. And he was attended by numerous counselors and all the ambassadors from the different countries. And when she entered the royal court, to her great surprise, she found all the kings. The king was only 16 years old, means he took a different body. See, the body he left when he died. So he was now, it was a different body and a 16-year-old. This world was a real, but not really real, but to her, she saw that it was real. And then she saw all the ministers and all the other people. And then she wonders, is it possible from when he was Padma, all those ministers, kings, and they came here, they were transported to this life. And then she rushed back to her world and entered to the body, rose from the state of samadhi. Then she hastened awakened her friends and summoned all her um, attendants and ministers just to console herself that this is not. But actually, everything is this whole world is illusory. This is different, but because of our body and the mind, we think it looks real, it seems like real, but it is not.
Thank you, Amma. So you can see the two things here. Number one, she was still in the same room, and that at the different plane of level of consciousness, she was transported to a different world. And that world was as real. Number two, actually 16 years had passed for her husband Jiva in that world, though he had died only a day ago or a few days ago. So you can see the illusoriness of the time from the story. So, and Sarveshji, you want to read, sir? Sarvesh,
Sarvesh is not here, Raghuji.
not here today. Oh,
Prabhuji,
yes,
all,
sir.
all this tells you that it is a dream-like thing, illusory when you say this, because she saw all her ministers there also.
Right. That is one thing that I was not able to understand. This these people have not died, and how can those jivas could have been there? That one thing from reading the story now and even before, that I have not been able to understand in my mind.
Raghuji, from what I understand, based on what he reflected, then this is 2016, Raghuji. So April 2016 is when we started
Your
Vishnu.
voice faded off. Can you repeat again, Amma?
Now,
Go ahead.
yeah, no. What I remember from our discussions is that the time and space concept is all an illusion, and so the time that is relevant to Leela in her room, is an illusion compared to the time where Padma is as re-existing as Viduratma. So the concept of time and space just does not exist. That's what I remember, because we had the same discussion, and how we saw that he passed away only a few days ago. He's 15 years in Baba's field. So in both, there are two different planes of consciousness. There's no same time and space concept does not exist in both the planes.
That is true. Only question is, Padma Jiva has left this body here, and so we can understand Padma's body is there in the other world. But the other ministers and all that have not left their bodies. They are still living here. How could they have been there?
It has to be a dream.
So
She was dreaming.
yeah, yeah. Only thing, yeah, like Dr. Nuli is telling that it was just a dream that she was imagining, and but she was supposed to be seeing, not imagining. So I don't know.
No, because in the dream we see all those pictures. Even
Yeah,
in our dreams.
yeah, yeah.
But
But
as I remember, Raghuji, it's not a dream, and it's about her past, present, and future
right.
lives
Yeah, this was not really we cannot say this is a dream, because her jiva, with the power of Saraswati Devi, she is given for her to transport herself as a subtle body to the other world and see where her husband is. And so I don't know. to the.
Raghuji, if she is going from her Bhutakash, she is not going to Chittakash because it's not her mind stuff. She is going to Chidakash.
Right.
If she is going to the ether of consciousness, that is again is not the Brahman.
No, he's not. He's not.
Okay.
It is that is the thing. It's hard for us to understand that it is a different plane of Chittakasha. That's the only thing that I can understand. In that Chittakasha,
Okay,
there are
if it
so
is
many
not
different planes
Brahman,
of awareness.
okay. So it is not Brahman. Okay, I understand. So the question is, that's something we have not studied in our Vedanta so far, because there is nothing like in between.
Right.
Self and Brahman are one and the same, and self is taking the taking the body till this karma runs over, and then it's going to be part of the Brahman back again.
Yeah,
So go ahead.
the only thing I understand is just like this world is unreal, there are different planes of awarenesses that all appear as far as those worlds are concerned, they are as real as this world.
Correct.
And
So
only when your mind has become subtle, uh, purified, then you can transport yourself to the different worlds at your own will.
so my question is it some level of a movie or something is created for her by Goddess Saraswati? If we believe in Advaita, there is nothing like Chidakash in that particular sense, because there is not
Right.
going to be in between. So if she's create something, because all this royal kingdom people, this one, they are going to be there because they are also going through this one, and sometimes they have to be there as a
Right.
previous janma, right?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
it is previous, I don't know, I don't want to call
No,
it janma
the
because
thing
it's
is, once you reach the state of pure Chidakasha, state of consciousness, okay, then from there you have the power to go to any world that you wish.
that's what we used to call as Satyaloka, right? Satyaloka, if in Devaloka or Swarga, you have to go there, enjoy something, and come back. But in the
Yeah, but
case
the
of
thing is,
Satyaloka,
only from because of punya karmas, you can just go there and come back, like any of the Pitraloka or Devaloka or what do you call Swargaloka and all that. Okay, but you don't have, but your mind is not purified enough to go anywhere you wish.
I think why don't we start reading, because 18 clearly says both the world of Padma and the world of Padma spirit, Vidurata, are illusory. And couple of paragraphs I read that is slowly explaining of what it is. The next chapter.
Okay.
The next
Let us
section.
see. Okay. Let us see, and if it's answered or not. Okay. Shobhanama, you have to read a little louder. Somehow your voice is fading off.
Is it better now, Raghuji?
Yeah.
Okay, I've increased the volume, so that's why.
Section 18.
Both the world of Padma and the world of Padma spirit, Viduratha, are illusionary. Confounded by having seen two worlds existing at the same time, Leela invoked the presence of Goddess Saraswati and sought to be enlightened about the mystery of these worlds. Goddess Saraswati explained, O child, which of the worlds do you consider real and which do you consider unreal? If you consider your world real and Vidurta's world unreal, then tell me what is the cause of Vidurata's world? the effect must abide in the cause. If Vidurata's world is the effect of your world, and if you see the latter is unreal, then you must agree that your world is unreal too.
Yeah.
Shall I stop here?
Just read one more.
Okay. If you say that Padma's memory caused the world that he now experiences as King Vidurata, then since memory is nothing without any substance of its own, both your world as well as Vidurata's world have no reality.
Yeah. Want to comment?
And I think, as I remember, we have to read a lot more to get some understanding of what the story is relevant, because we remember we reflected on it a lot. And here, what is happening is that Leela asks Goddess Saraswati again to explain the mystery of both the worlds, and that's when Saraswati explains that if you consider your world to be real, then Vidurata's world has to be unreal. Okay, and
Is that what said?
that
And if you consider this as real, the other one
that
has to be real too.
yeah, sorry, yeah, that's what, because the effect, the cause is same as the effect. So, and if that is unreal, then you are in risk. It's the other way around. Just making
Right.
sure, if you think that is unreal, then your world is also unreal. And also she continues that Padma's memory, if that caused the experiences of this new world for him, and we know memory is nothing, and without any substance of its own, both your world as well as his world is no reality. No reality.
So, if you look at the relative level, that both are real, because they go from the cause and effect relationship of the Vyavahara, from one jiva to the other. But from the absolute level, both are unreal. So,
Raghuji, who is Vidurata?
Vidurata is the new 16-year-old king.
So Vidurata should be next incarnation or a next life of Padma or
Correct.
previous life of Padma, right?
Correct.
Okay. I just want to understand. I'm not want to lose the track. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's why she wanted to see her husband where he is now. That's why Saraswati Devi sent her there to see her husband. Okay, but she had also asked the Devi for a boon that Jiva should not leave this room, and so even that Vidurata's kingdom is still within the same room. The extensive palace and kingdom, everything is within her room. So you can see the illusoriness of the space also. So,
And another thing, Raghuji, if you think about a different plane altogether, where she is in one lifetime and that Vidurata and that kingdom is in different frame. There is an example is there, right? When Shiva and Parvati got married, they did first puja for Ganapati. So in a sense, what different plane? Ganapati was already there before Shiva and Parvati got married.
correct.
So similar, I'm trying to imagine it is a different plane they're talking or something like that. Anyway.
Okay, already. Okay, let us go to Sudhirji here today. No, and Uma Shankar, you want to read, Amma? Next three paragraphs.
Laila asked, "O goddess, how did Viduratha's world arise out of this world? How can I be from the delusion of these worlds?" Goddess Saraswati explained, "O Leela, this entire world is based upon the memory of the Creator. It is like a dream in the Creator's mind. In a corner of consciousness tinged by ignorance, there lies the mind of Creator. In a remote corner of his mind, cosmic mind, there is an old dilapidated temple which you know as this world. It is enveloped by the crystal blue expansion of the self. This temple has many rooms, and each room represents a plane in the cosmos. The sun, moon serve as lamps for this temple. The mountains and valleys are like little pebbles in one room. And some souls are like mosquitoes buzzing in the corners of another room. Every room is filled with numerous objects. ఏమండి?
Read the next paragraph.
In one corner of this dilapidated temple, there is a small pit in which can be found a separate world. In this pit, there are rivers, mountains, forests, cities, and villages, and numerous humans and other living beings. Among them, there is a village called Parvata Grama, where there once lived a righteous Brahmin who owned many milk cows.
Yeah.
So, is this the one world? The కడాపెర వరల్డ్ అండి అది
డిస్కౌంట్ ఇచ్చేది కూడా ఇంకో
Is Shankar want to say something? Okay. So from what I understand here, that since Leela asked, how did Vidurata's world arise out of this world, and how can it be free from the delusion of these worlds? So Saraswati Devi is telling, okay, and everything is based upon, here the word memory is used, but it's there, whatever the karmas of that soul which left. And so the Padma's Jiva was the effect of the previous one, and that's what is being said near the end about the village called Parvata Grama, and in which there was a righteous Brahmin. That is the story is taken, the past life. And so you can see everything is happening right there in the same room. And the effect of Padma after his Jiva died is the Vidurata. And everything is there in the same room. And we are going to see later that the same thing happened in the Brahmin's case, that the Brahmin's wife, when the Brahmin died, asks the Saraswati Devi, okay, I want him to stay right here. I love him so much. And so everything is happening in the same little space. And here we see how that in the pure consciousness of Brahman, we can call it as a tiny little temple, somewhere there is one Brahmaji. That is Brahmaji's world. In that Brahmaji's world, there are different called levels of consciousness in which you see the different worlds. Like we see, like we ourselves know, the Bhuloka, Burloka, Surloka, all these different lokas and jivas, everything is within that Brahmaji. And you can say, in infinite consciousness, there is in a tiny one Brahmaji, and in his world itself is extensive, the various worlds. And all this world of Brahmana, the world of Padma, the world of Vidurata, all of them are at different levels of consciousness in this one Brahmaji's world. That's what I understand. Is Veena ji here today?
Raghuji, can I say something?
Yes, Amma. Go ahead.
I had a long time ago I had read this one. I'm joining again this for Yoga Vashishta, and the story that Swami Jyotirmayanandaji, he has written a book from the stories from Yoga Vashishta. It's a different book. So he has taken just the stories there. When I read this story in there, the way I understood was the time, actually is not like a line A, B, C, D like this. For us, it is past, present, and future. But in according to the story, it is showing in a perpendicular line that everything happens at the same time.
Right.
So you are seeing here Padma, he is the one who is dead. But what was his life before and what was his life after? And those are the three things that he is showing here.
Correct. Yeah, you are right. Yeah. Anything else more, Geeta?
No. I just remembered that story about
Right.
10, 15 years ago. I had read that story.
Correct. So that's what the Sharada Devi is showing her, since she wanted to see the what do you call, where is Padma now? She showed the other world of the Viduratha, and now showing that everything is in the corner of a little corner of that infinite consciousness. All these things are happening, and the illusoriness of the whole thing is being shown. So now we are going to the Parvatagrama story. So,
Raghuji, is the Viduratha is before Padma or after Padma?
after Padma. Why do you say it is before?
I'm just asking because they're showing 16 years, of age.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's the thing. Showing that though he died only a couple of days ago, okay, in the other world, he's already 16 years old. Okay, so showing that at different levels of consciousness, the time factor changes. So just like in our own dream, that you feel as if that you have dreamed for your dream world happened for so long. Then when you wake up, suddenly you say, oh, you look at your time and say, oh, I've been sleeping only half an hour. So in that half an hour time, what all you dreamt, as if it happened for several days or something like that. Or you went to several places also. So,
thank you.
Okay. Vijayji, you want to continue, sir?
Okay, let's go ahead and start with section 19, the story of Vashishta and Arundhati, the past lives of Padma and Leela. Okay, now I'm getting confused. Is the same Vashishta the guru?
No. Read the
Okay.
in the
The
bottom.
goddess Saraswati continued. The Brahmin's name was Vashishta, and there is a star there, but where they're going to say Vashishta in this context is not to be identified as the sage Vashishta, the preceptor of Rama. Okay. He had a wife called Arundhati, and they loved each other profoundly. Once upon a time, Brahmin Vasistha happened to see king with his army sporting in a forest. He was deeply impressed by the glory of the king. He thought within himself how wonderful it would be to be a king. As a king, I would enjoy royal glories. I would be attended by an army of many foot soldiers, horses, elephant chariots. I would spread my fame by my righteous acts. This impression continued to linger in his mind even until his death. The Brahmin continued to perform his duties in daily life with an increased sense of righteousness. And his wife Arundhati also lived a life of dedicated to service and devotion.
Comment?
Oh, Leela. Okay. Here, there's nothing much is going to be there. They're talking about now. There's a new story of Vasistha and Arundhati,
Yeah.
and here they're talking about imagination of this particular Brahmin
Right.
and what he wants to be. If what would be happen if he becomes a king?
Yeah. So the story is actually showing why they Vashishta became Padma because of his desire to enjoy the kingship. So, okay. Akilama, you want to read? I'm sorry. Vishwanathan, want to read?
Hariom Raghuji, I'll skip on today. I didn't bring my book. I'm actually outside.
Okay. Very good. Akilama, you want to continue, Amma?
Hari Om Raghuji. O Leela, just as you have recently secured a boon from me, so Arundhati had once secured a boon. She had also asked that the spirit of her husband should stay confined to her room after his death. Accordingly, when her husband died, his spirit stayed in the ether of that room in Parvata Grama. But Arundhati was deeply afflicted by the separation from her husband. Torn by grief, she died, and with her mental body, when her mental body reached her husband's world, just as a river flows from a higher to a lower level with spontaneity, so she gravitated to the world of Vashishta's spirit, and there she bloomed like a flower in the spring.
Read the
O
next
Leela, okay. O Leela, only 8 days have elapsed since the Brahmin died. Their spirits still dwell in Parvata Grama, in the ether of that room.
Yeah.
So here, Mata Saraswati is trying to give a parallel story, just like Leela, and tell her that just like you wished, so too this lady, the Brahmin's wife, wished the same. And because she was so deep in sorrow after the separation, she went down, and with her went down her husband. Or because of her husband, she went down. Which way was it, Raghuji?
Say it again.
So she went down and took a birth in the lower world again. Was that because of her love for her husband that she went down, even though she was a higher spirit?
Why do you say she was a higher spirit?
Because she could talk to Ma Saraswati. She was definitely higher than him.
But how do you know that he was not of the same power?
Then why would he wish to be a king?
Well,
he knows better not to have that wish. So she wanted that out for the love of her husband, but he wanted something else. So I thought maybe she's a higher soul.
Okay, well, I can't argue on that. I can't argue on that. Okay, could be. Yeah. But look at the next example of Leela and Padma. If she was so elevated, why was she so attached to her husband that she wanted him to stay with her? So, anyway, it doesn't matter. So, okay, is Ashwin here today? No. Okay, Nuligar, you want to continue, sir?
Well, I think the main thing is it is like a dream in the creator's mind. So we are reading all the dreams of the creator's mind.
Right. No, let us not bring him Brahmaji here. Okay.
ఏమండి ఆంజనేయుల వాళ్ళు ఉండరు.
Oh, yeah, forgot. Anjaneyulu, sir.
Yeah, no problem. Hari Om Raghuji. Section 20. Leela sees the world of her previous birth, insight into the illusory nature of the world. Goddess Saraswati continued, "Oh, beautiful lady, this very Brahmin Vashishta became your husband, King Padma. You were once Arundhati, the beloved wife of that Brahmin. With Vashishta and Arundhati as the root, your universe extends on the basis of illusion. There is creation within creation, even like a dream within a dream. And each creation is real to the experiencing soul, just as a dream is real to the dreamer. Only on waking does the dream become illusory. In the same way, when one receives enlightenment, this world becomes illusory." Amazed with bewilderment, Leela asked, "Oh goddess, your words are bound to be true, but how am I to believe that our vast world is confined to the space of a room in Parvatagrama, which is in turn is confined to a small pit in the temple of Brahma's creation.
Yeah. Want to comment?
So now they are the linking. The chronologically, Vashishta and Brahmin Vashishta and
Arundhati.
Arundhati. Then next comes Padma, Leela and Padma. Then comes Vidurata now. So that's
Right.
the way
Yeah.
things are. So many things going on. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Raghuji, I am kind of lost here because it's more of a conversation between Yoga Vashishta and Lord Rama. But is this through these stories he's trying to explain the path of knowledge more to Lord Rama through his
Correct.
Yoga Vashishta?
Correct. Correct. So you had to go back in the book to read in that page around 120, 199, something like that, or not between 189 and 199, that the question comes that Vasishtha is explaining how the world is so illusory, and to give an example for the illusoriness. So because a story is worth so many hundred other different explanations, and so the story is shown to show the illusoriness of this world, so-called the real world of each of us. So, okay, Nuligar, you want to continue, sir?
Yes, sir. Hari Om. Your words, O goddess, are as ridiculous as saying that an elephant has been tied up inside a mustard seed, or that a mosquito waged battle against a group of lions within an atom, or that a mountain exists in a lotus stalk, or that a tiny bee swallowed the highest of the mountains, or that a thundering cloud in one's dream delighted the peacocks. I can cite many such illustrations that can never be real. Therefore, please explain to me the secret of your revelation. Goddess Saraswati said, "There is nothing false or ridiculous in my statements. Please listen to me with attention. The soul of Vasishta, impressed with the desire to become a king, discovered a world within the space of his dwelling place. If you ask why it is that you are unable to remember the past, the cause is this. Just as the memory of waking life is lost during dream and a different form of memory arises, so the memory of the past is lost and a different form of memory arises in every birth. Death is nothing but a change in the pattern of one's memory."
Yeah. Want to comment?
Well, the whole thing is, of course, they gave all kinds of, unimaginable things, but at the bottom it says the death is nothing but a change in the pattern of memory, one's memory, that we don't remember what is happening before.
Yeah. So
That is
right. So just like when I go to sleep in my bedroom, I imagine so many things. So I dream so many things that I was in such a world, and that I went to it happened in 30 minutes this afternoon. So behind my house there was a big TV screen, and it was being watched by people from the church next door and things like that. Extensive dream happened. Okay. And I went there and asked them to stop the TV, so and so on and on and on. Okay. Everything happened where? In my own mind, in my own sofa. Okay. So, like that, the same thing. be there in different worlds, in different planes of consciousness, can happen in so-called in our own physical space. So okay, and next is what, Dinesh here today? No, Hemaji is not here.
I'm here.
Dinesh, go ahead and read, sir.
In fact, O gentle Leela, this world, including you, me, and all that you see, is essentially the ether of pure consciousness.
You have to read a little louder.
In fact, O gentle Leela, this world, including you, me, and all that you see, is essentially the ether of pure consciousness. This is the truth that you must realize to end the illusion of the world process. In the house of the Brahmin, of the Brahmin, there is his soul. Within the ether, in his soul exists this vast world of consisting of oceans, rivers, forests, mountains, cities, and villages. All these creations do not affect the ether of the space in the house of the Brahmin, because they are like the illusory forms spiraling in the blue sky, seen through eyes that are dazzled by light. In every atom abides the self, and the self can sustain numerous worlds, like particles scintillating in a ray of light. Therefore, O Leela, why do you wonder about the possibility of a world being sustained by the space in the corner of a room? So my comment on this is the last paragraph is the one that makes sense to me, that in every atom abides the self. So if we believe in that, then everything abides in the self, and the self can be small or it can be as vast as this universe. Hariom.
Yeah. So if you start concentrating on just an atom itself is we talk about protons and neutrons and electrons and things like that, and then we talk about the solar system with the sun and with the planets going around. And the same way, then we talk about the whole Milky Galaxy and various stars going around its center, like that. And so all these are relative things to one another. But at the level of pure consciousness, all these are illusory. And so the same way, these different worlds that we talk about in the mind of each person are completely illusory. But as long as I continue to dream of it, it is real for me. So I don't know. Okay.
Dr. Manoj is here.
Yeah. Karpagam, you want to read, Amma?
Leela asked, "O goddesses, only 8 days have passed since the Brahmin couple died, but we have lived in this world for many, many years. How can this be possible?" The goddesses replied, "O beautiful one, just as the perception of spaciousness is illusory, so the perception of time is illusory. This world of time and space is a projection of the mind, an appearance that dissolves in the state of intuitional realization of the self. Led by karma, the soul experiences a state of swoon for a moment, and within the moment, it forgets the happenings of the whole past lifetime and begins to see a different form of personality confined to a different set of realities."
Yeah. Want to comment?
No, it's confusing for me.
So, whatever the story is beautifully showing, whatever the intense desires we have in this world not fulfilled, that you will take a birth in the next world to satisfy those intense desires. And that's what has happened to Vashishta. And the same thing happened to Padma because he was a king and he had a complete desire to be the king. And then, so in the next life also, he's working as a king and he loved all these ministers and all that. And so the same jivas are there also, the birth. So that's the reason we are supposed to become completely desireless, exhaust all our vasanas if you want to stop having any more births. So that's the conclusion that we should take home. So
I was about to say that exactly, Raghuji, like, how greater you realize the soul you might be, but still, if even a small bit of vasana and the desire could lead to a birth cycle, into the birth cycle, like what happened to Bharata Maharaj.
yeah, exactly. In Bhagavatam, there's a story of the king Bharata, not the son, not the brother of Rama, that he was a what call royal. I'm sorry, he was called a great king, and then when he became old, he left everything, went to do the tapas, and he was almost realized, but he got attached to a little baby deer, and in his last days he was thinking of the deer, and so in the next life he became a deer. So like that, and so it's extremely important that we don't get attached to the things.
Raghuji, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned about the desire. We do have the desires. Some of us have good desires, bad desires. If we control ourselves or check ourselves and not follow those, just let them come and go, does it mean we are carrying a baggage?
One little I understand is we get so many what do you call fanciful thoughts. Only the thoughts that becomes completely intensified, that you continue to keep on dwelling on it in your mind, okay, that is the one that becomes a vasana to be exhausted in the next life. So it's just like this, like when you go to a shopping mall, you see so many wonderful things, window shopping, and but you don't get attached to all of them. Okay. Only one you get attached and say, oh, it'll be so nice if I take it. It'll be so nice if I wear it. It'll be so nice to show off in the next party. All these fanciful thoughts come and it becomes desire, and then you end up going and buying it. So, or if you can't buy it, you get upset. So all those things happen. So all the little desires won't cause vasanas. Only a persistent desires lead to the vasanas. That's what I understand.
So Raghuji, you're saying that if every day or we continue to have the desire to grow spiritually and unify with Brahman, if that is a desire, if that kind of a desire you continue, that could also happen. Right?
Yes, yeah, if you continue to have the desires, and especially if it's not fulfilled and say, okay, enough is enough, I fulfilled my desire, then it won't bother you. Okay. But if it continue to dwell on it, oh, I wish I could have it more. And that's the reason. So that's the reason you see people like Chinmanda Swamiji and all that, they enjoy the world. Okay. But when nothing is there, the still mind is still completely blissful, not desiring anything. And but unlike us, and so like if somebody did not invite you to their party, you keep wondering, oh, why didn't you invite, and all that, your mind is getting upset. But somebody like Gurudev, I say, hey, good, If they didn't invite me, that's a good thing. That now I can spend my own time in my own meditation or contemplation, like that. And so everything depends on our own mind. So how we react to the external world. The realized man faces the same world as we, but the difference is how we each one interact with that world. So okay,
I have.
Mano Naidu, you want to continue, Ma? I'm sorry, Dr. Nuri has got some.
I just wanted, because see, is the soul they are using both as a self and a jiva, because in the in the last in the last para led by karma, the soul experienced the state of soon. Okay, here I think the soul means jiva he is talking about
Yeah,
here.
Jiva and soul are the subtle bodies, the same thing.
No, but in the previous thing, in the previous page, in the house of Brahman, there is a soul within the ether. In his soul exists the vast world consisting. Here he is using as a self.
No. In that soul, with that body as Vashishta, okay, there exists a big world. And in that world, that he was married to the Arundhati, he had children, he was in that forest, and he had a wonderful life and all that. So.
Okay.
Continue with Mano Naidu. You want to continue, Ma?
Okay. The soul becomes identified with the new body and led by its past impressions, believes I am this body with hands, feet, face, and limbs. I am the son of my father. This is my wonderful house. I am so many years old. I was born and now I have passed my childhood and now I am young and youthful. These are my relatives. They were also born like me. Though the relationships with brother, sister, father, mother, wife, and friends are all illusory, yet due to mutual identification between the chitta, the mind, and the atman, the self, they are considered real. In fact, the self is without body and relationships. In the perceptions of a dream, both the seer and the seen are sustained by the self. On waking, they disappear. In the same way, the world of seer, seen, and subject-object relationship is sustained by the self. When the veil of ignorance is destroyed, duality is negated, and the self alone remains as the absolute reality. All these the three paragraphs talking about, the first one is how when the soul is identified with the body and all that, how you talk about your relationship and relationships with the other people in your life and also with the body. And then the relationships, all these are all illusory. Yet, due to mutual identification between the mind and the self, you are considering them as real. But the thing is, self is without body and relationships. In the perception of a dream, both seer and seen are sustained by the self. I don't know, they're confusing me between the self and other things.
Now the self is, if you look at the pure, self is pure consciousness.
Yes.
Only, and the so-called jiva is inert without the consciousness. And so the consciousness identified with the jiva has all these desires and vasanas.
Yeah, I understand that. But here the self is, okay, it's okay. In the perception of a dream, both the seer and seen are sustained by the self. On waking, they disappear.
Right. And
The
waking
world
up,
of,
and waking up to your absolute state,
yeah, they
seer and
disappear.
seen are both are me.
Yeah.
Seer and seen are both are me. There was no duality.
Yeah. And the veil of ignorance is destroyed, then the duality is negated, and self alone remains as the absolute reality.
Correct.
Yeah.
So very good. Manoj, you want to
I have
continue?
a question, Raghuji.
Go ahead, Amma.
So, if when the jiva realizes it, it becomes self, would you say that?
Yes. When as a jiva you realize I am not the jiva, I am the pure consciousness, then your cycle of birth and death will stop.
So all the subtle causal body, everything is gone. Is that
Correct.
it?
Yeah. The causal body is nothing but the accumulation of all the vasanas. Okay. And when you are not going to realize your pure self until all your vasanas are dissolved. Once your vasanas are dissolved, and you go to the guru, and guru tells you, hey, you are not this body, mind, the intellect, you are that pure consciousness, the self. So you contemplate on it, and if your mind has become completely pure without any vasanas, you immediately realize I am that Brahman. And for all of us, or at least for me, the problem is, though we intellectually understand I am the Brahman, apparently that mind is still having a lot of attachments, I guess. And
Yes.
I have to continue to do my sadhana to overcome all these attachments, and then continue to purify myself, and so that 24/7 my thought should be that I am the Atman. Body, mind, and the intellect will continue to work in the world, but I'm constantly aware that I am the Brahman. So it's just like now, I'm constantly aware I am a man. I don't have to keep on saying I am a man, I am a man, I am a man. Okay. No, nobody has to remind me. Okay. The same way that a realized man knows that I am the pure Brahman. He continues, the BMI continues to work, but I am not the BMI. So, all our sadhana, spiritual sadhana, is for that. So, of course, if somebody asks me, hey, who are you? I'm not going to say I am Brahman. I'm going to still say I am Raghu on a Vyavharik level, but inside I know, hey, this is from the Vyavharik point, then I just behave like anybody else. Okay. But at the absolute level, I don't have any attachments to my wife or my children or to the world. And if everything goes away tomorrow, I'm still at the same level of bliss.
So when you say that, it is the binding attachment that is the worst, rather than you do all your duties to anybody, as a wife or a brother, sister, or anything, but it is the binding attachment that brings you down.
Correct. It's not that the realized man doesn't love people. He loves everybody. Okay. It is just like I love every part of my body. A realized man loves everybody. He has no enmity to anybody, because he considers everybody as a part of him. So, if he, but many of us have the feeling, I love everybody except that man. So like that. So we still have likes and dislikes. So, Manoj, you want to continue, sir?
The waves are ever the same as the ocean. The idea that they rise, maintain their individuality, and then subside in the ocean is based upon illusion. In the same way, the world neither arises from Brahman, nor is it sustained by Brahman, nor does it dissolve in Brahman. When the world of objectivity does not exist, how can there be the duality of seer and sin? Veiled by the illusion of death, the soul reflects a different pattern of the world, a new time, space, activity, sequence of events, birth, mother, father, brother, relatives, the passage of time, knowledge about objects, desires of the mind, and the rising and the setting of the sun. The self, though ever unborn, due to his identification with the impure intellect, believes that it is limited, it has a limited personality. Led by vasana, subtle desire, it sees itself born in a particular class, possessing a distinct psychological structure, and involved in certain realities of the world. So he's trying to tell that, like in the waves, you can see it up and down, but actually it's just the ocean, it's not, everything else is kind of an illusion. Same way, in this world, is from Brahman, but it's not sustained by Brahman, it's neither dissolved, it's like a Brahman. And when we have objectivity, when we see me, you, or that's all, by illusion of death, it goes away. So same way, when the death happens, we get a new time, new space, new things, new mother, the things have changed again. But the self itself, though ever unborn, it's identified, it's still identified sometimes with intellect, and then there's a limited personality. But if your vasana goes away, then you become different. You become Atman, and there is no difference between one Atman to another Atman. Hari Om.
Only one Atman. Beautiful. Thank you for the explanation. Is Maya here today? No. And Jansi Amma? No. Nag, you want to continue, sir?
Within the moment of illusory deviation from the self, the soul sees itself involved in a flow of sequential events. I was born of these parents. I grew up and experienced these varied conditions in my life. King Harichandra experienced 12 years in a single night when he was afflicted by separation from his beloved wife and son. Men who suffer pangs of separation from their beloved relatives experience a long duration of time in a very short while. A day may seem like a year to them. A person may dream that he is dead, that he is reborn, and that he has passed through many experiences of pleasure and pain. But on waking, all these become false. In the same way, this world is negated when a person wakes up through intuitional realization of the self.
Let Rakesh Kumar read, and then we will finish it up.
Ignorance veils the truth of the non-duality of self and creates a perverted vision of multiplicity that does not exist when a person is drunk from having taken alcoholic drinks, or when he is dreaming. He may find a crowd even in a deserted place. He may rejoice even in adverse circumstances, or may interpret the great loss of a joyous gain. The self sustains all names and forms, even as the ocean sustains its wave. When the self alone exists, how can there be bondage or liberation? Since bondage is not real, the knowledge pertaining to the self dispels ignorance and reveals the fact that the self alone is ever established in its own infinite glory. Hari Om.
Swami, anybody?
Raghuji, without using jargons, in a crude way, this is what I think this Yoga Vashishta is trying to tell me. When I have a desire, like I want to be a king, very deep desire, I want to be a king, I dream that I became a king and I live a full life as a king. If I have a dream like I am the president, then I have a dream that I am the president. So I am not reborn as a king or as president, but it is all a dream in my mind. Nothing is happening anywhere. It is all happening in my mind, in my bedroom. I dream the entire life of the king, entire life of a president. Or if I am a bad guy, if I do bad things, my conscience knows I'm doing bad things. So in my dream, I experience bad things. But the irony is, I myself is a dream of somebody. I am not real. Somebody is dreaming, Nog is living. Nog is living that life. As if I am 100% convinced that I am existing as a dream in somebody's dream, somebody's dream is my life, then it is all done. There is no more dream, no more Nog, no more anything. So everything dissolves. And that person dreaming about me is what everybody calls Brahman. So Brahman dreams me and I dream something else. There is no reborn, there is no death because everything is happening in my dream. That's what I think.
Now, Brahman is not dreaming. Brahmaji or the creator or Hiranyagarbha is dreaming. Brahman doesn't dream. Apart from that, what else you said is true. Only thing is, you have to realize, oh, I'm just in the dream of Brahmaji. Okay? Then you say, hey, I'm just illusory thing. And so I'm in the dream of Brahmaji, so hey, I'm not worried that Brahmaji is dreaming, I am not real. Okay? That I as Nag is not real, okay? That means you have realized I am the pure consciousness.
Yeah, see, that I have to be 100% convinced, which we are all trying to get. If I'm 100% convinced I'm just a dream of Brahmaji, and whatever, there is no death or birth because everything is going to be my dreams. So we will rewind it and go all the way back to Brahmaji.
Yeah. So you start imagining everything, anything, and live in this world, exhausting our vasanas and not create new vasanas, then we have done our job. So, but if you imagine that, oh, everything is illusory, I'm not going to work, I'm not going to take care of my family, or I'm not going to do my work at work and things like that, then you are using the what you call spiritual knowledge in an abnormal way. So we have to have proper understanding what is in Vyavaharic life. I have to do my Vyavaharic life, but uh, not having any attachment to anything, not attachment to the results of my action. And whatever actions that I do are not desire prompted actions, they are just duties. And actions are done as a duty without expecting any personal result. So that way, I'm not accumulating any vasanas, and whatever the free time I have, I continue to revel in my pure consciousness in the form of meditation or study of the books or japa or whatever the way you want to spend your time. So, anybody want to make the last remark? Sriram, you want to make your last words of wisdom for us?
No, I don't have anything. Thank you.
Sarveshwarji?
Hari Om.
I came late, so I missed a lot of it. So thank you.
Ratnamma?
No, Dr. Raghu. This is too high for me. All I know is everything is illusory, and the Brahman is the only reality in life. No matter what happens, just keep thinking about Brahman and don't think about anything else. Hari Om.
That's what you are doing. Perfect. Thank you.
As you said, Raghuji, definitely at Vyavaharic level, all these knowledge and satsang, you should see a change in your attitude and how you look at life. That is more important. As you said, we cannot ignore. Just take the subjective knowledge and try to apply it on this, material, more grosser world. It has to be more inward and applied within ourselves, and how we reflect it on the external world is very important.
Yeah. So
You know,
I look at it as
mental state of
yeah. So when
there
I
has to
get
be a
sick,
huge shift in the mental state.
right? Correct. So when I get sick or when my finger get hurt, if I do treat the finger, it doesn't mean I did a favor to the finger. I'm just taking care of myself. Same way, if I expand my identification with Brahman, there's nothing other than Brahman. So everything that I'm seeing is in world of reality is nothing but Brahman. And so I have to treat everything as me. And so just like I take care of my finger, so I take care of everybody with the same amount of love, whatever that my individual physical circumstances permit me.
Yeah, definitely, I see personally the let go activity is coming spontaneously. You know, where you don't feel regretted of the past and don't get
Exactly.
attached to objective things. Just because it didn't happen to you, you just let go and move on. And that attitude, that maturity is definitely growing as you
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly. That's exactly the thing that we need to see in our own life. How much we feel upset when things don't happen the way we wanted, or how much we get carried away and get exhausted and think, oh, I'm so great when things happen our way. And so we are supposed to be at equanimity with both ups and downs of life. And like if my wife dies, definitely I feel hurt, but I don't get carried away for months and months and months and grieving over it like that. So ॐ सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्
Hari Om, everybody. See you next
Let me see who is going to do the summary. After Nag is Rakesh. Rakesh, would you be able to do the summary?
Yeah, we will do it.
Okay.
We have to do from 17 to, let me see, 20.
Pardon?
How many chapters we have to wear?
17 to 20.
20.
Oh, 7 to 20. Okay. All right. Thank you. I will do it.
Very good.
Hari
Thank
Om.
you
Hari Om.
all. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Neetaji.
Hari Om, Hari Om.
Hari Om, Ram.
Hari Om.
Thank you.
Hari Om,
Hari
everyone.
Om.
Hari Om.
Yes,
Hari
Swaminathan,
Om.
I forgot to ask you to read. I'm sorry.
No problem, no problem. Next time, Ji. Next time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Highlighted your name because I just put it in between two names and I skipped it. Okay.
Thank you, Ji.
Thank you, sir.
Namaste.
Hari
Hari
Om.
Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om, Andy.
Namaskar.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om, sir.
Okay.
ఏం శంకర్ మాట్లాడుతా ఉండరా ఇవ్వద్దు
లేదు నన్ను ఏమో క్వశ్చన్ అడుగుతా ఉండరు
if you ask you have to ask the question to us, not her, when she was talking.
Okay.
Next time.
Hari Om.
Okay. Yeah.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Namaste, Sudhir.
Now say, can you send me that? Did we recorded the briefing because I couldn't join the call?
Yeah. I'll send it. I'll put it in the Pathos of Atlanta group.
Sure, thank you. Tomorrow onwards, I am actually going to India, so I will be back only on 14th. So next week classes I will not be there.
Okay.
I'll
put it in the Pathos group, sir.
Sure. Thank you.
Dr. Raghu, I'm not getting any recording. Do I need to get it?
You are not in the Parthas group, I guess. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇದು ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೀರಾ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ಇದೆಯಾ?
No, so that's one reason. Okay, I understand. It's no problem. Okay. Anyway, I attend. Thank you.
Yeah, you attend anyway, so okay.
Hari Om. Hari Om.
Hari Om.
Hari Om.